Hey, welcome. Today, we're basically cracking open the ultimate user's guide to our planet. We're going to look at all the essential stuff that builds our world. I mean, from the phone in your hand to the food you ate for lunch. Okay, let's get right into it.
But seriously, just stop for a second and think about that. The chair you're on, the screen you're looking at, where did it all start? The answer to that question actually takes us deep, deep into the Earth itself. And that's really the core of what we're going to unpack today.
And that brings us to our key term, a natural resource. It's a super simple idea, but it has absolutely massive implications. Basically, if it comes from the planet and we humans use it, boom, it's a natural resource. But as you're about to see, not all resources are created equal, not by a long shot.
So, I want you to think of the Earth as having two giant pantries, okay? One shelf in this pantry is constantly getting restocked. It's always full. But the other one, well, that one has a fixed supply. And figuring out which pantry we're taking from, that's one of the biggest challenges of our time. So, this right here, this is the crucial difference. On one side, you've got your renewable resources. These are things like sunlight, wind, and forests. As long as we manage them right, they can replenish themselves within a human lifetime. But on the other side, you've got the non-renewable stuff. We're talking coal, oil, metals. Once we use them up, they are, for all practical purposes, gone for good. I mean, it would take millions of years to make more. This one idea is probably the single most important concept for understanding our planet's future.
All right, so for the last couple hundred years, we've been running our entire world almost exclusively on that non-renewable shelf. These resources, they built our modern civilization. They've given us incredible power and materials. But how are they even made? Where do they come from?
Well, it's kind of like an epic recipe, and the main ingredient is just time, a whole lot of it. We're talking millions of years ago when ancient plants and animals died and got buried. Over eons, just immense heat and pressure from all the layers of rock basically cooked those remains, transforming them into the coal, oil, and natural gas we use today. It's pretty wild.
Now, what's so fascinating is how incredibly versatile this ancient stuff is. We usually just think of crude oil as fuel for our cars, right? But look at this. A huge chunk of it gets transformed into the building blocks for plastics, detergents, and just countless other things we use every single day. It's literally woven into the fabric of our modern lives.
But fuel is only part of the story. We also dig deep for the planet's other hidden treasures, minerals. And these are the source of all the metals that form the actual backbone of our buildings, our technology, everything.
And we get at them in two main ways. You've got open-cut mining, which is basically digging a giant pit from the surface and scooping everything out. And then, for the deeper stuff, you've got underground mining, which creates this whole complex network of tunnels that go way down into the earth.
But just getting the rock out of the ground, that's only the beginning. The raw ore has to be crushed, then it's smelted at these insanely high temperatures to separate the pure metal from all the waste rock. And finally, it's refined into the usable materials that, well, build our world.
And this slide right here shows you why we go through all that trouble. I mean, metals basically have superpowers. They're strong enough for buildings, they're conductive for all our electronics, and they're malleable, meaning we can shape them into almost anything. These incredible properties are exactly what makes our modern world possible. Okay, so we've got these amazing, powerful resources that have built everything around us. They seem pretty perfect, right? So, what's the catch? Why is our deep reliance on them turning into one of humanity's biggest challenges? And that question leads us right into the final and honestly, the most critical part of our story. How do we find a path forward that doesn't completely empty the pantry for the people who come after us?
So here's the core problem. Our whole civilization's engine runs on burning these finite resources, and doing that has huge consequences for our planet's climate and its ecosystems. That reality, right there, is the main reason we're being pushed so hard to find alternatives, energy sources that are not only cleaner, but are, just by their nature, gonna last.
And that brings us to the renewable revolution. We're getting so much smarter about harnessing the immense, ever-present power of the sun with solar panels, the wind with turbines, and the flow of water with hydroelectric dams. These awesome technologies are tapping into that other pantry shelf, the one that never runs dry, and they're turning these natural cycles into clean power for us. You know, sustainability isn't just about energy. It's also about what I like to call the afterlife of our stuff. Biodegradable materials, like paper or food scraps, can be broken down by nature and returned to the earth. But non-biodegradable stuff, like most plastics made from oil, can stick around for hundreds of years, creating this massive waste problem that we're really only just now starting to get our heads around.
And that's exactly why creating circular economies, where we recycle and reuse materials over and over, is so important. It cuts down on waste and means we don't have to mine for as many new resources. But sustainability also means we have to protect our single most vital renewable resource, one we totally take for granted: fresh water.
I just love this way of putting it. The water cycle really is the planet's own perfect recycling program. But that delicate system is getting strained by a changing climate, which can lead to more extreme droughts in some places and crazy flooding in others. Conserving and protecting our water has just never been more important.
So we end here. We know for a fact that the shelves in one of our planetary pantries are finite. But human creativity, our ingenuity, our ability to choose a better path, that's not finite at all. The next chapter in this whole story is being written right now, by us. The only question is, what are we going to choose to build with it? Thanks for tuning in.